Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, where we explore the depths of holistic health, uncovering the interconnectedness of our emotions, mind, body, and spirit. This podcast is dedicated to individuals who are on a quest to uncover their truth, understanding their genetic and spiritual DNA, and learning how to harness this knowledge to achieve optimal health. But this isn't just another health podcast. The Natural Health Podcast is here to ignite a spark of hope within you, reminding you of your innate potential for greatness. You are pure love, capable of living life to its fullest expression. Are you ready to embark on a transformational journey to achieve optimal health? Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about beautiful Pisces, and I'm going to talk about a research study about addictions, which is going to be so interesting. But let's get straight into Pisces season. If it is Pisces season at the moment when you're listening to, or you are a Pisces sun, moon, or rising, or have a few planets in Pisces, this is for you, right? So Pisces is ruled by Neptune. It is a water sign and it's mutable. So when you think about it, it's a water sign. Like when you think about water, think about waves, right? Waves are so mutable. Once there'll be a huge wave, and then there'll be a little wave, and then there'll be no waves. It moves. So when you put something in water, it moves around. It's mutable. So these individuals, Pisces, are mutable. It's so mutable. So they say the Pisces is the alpha and the omega, the start and the finish, because them themselves, they're so mutable. There's no start and finish, right? It just goes on. So if you know a Pisces, they're such soft, beautiful individuals who sometimes struggle with boundaries, and that's a really interesting concept to consider. They have infinite change, they have infinite potential, because there's no end, there's no border, there's no it's just so it's kind of like, think about this, when you see the ocean, you don't know where it ends, and this is where you don't know where the Pisces mind feelings end or where it starts. It's associated with the crown chakra, and there is no form. Some Pisces individuals physically may hold a little bit more adipose tissue because there's no form there, or they can't hold on and have muscles that well because there's no form there, which is quite interesting. They are also the dreamers. So those friends, or you yourself, people that you know that just sit there and they're like, Mihaela, have you ever thought about this? And you're like, no, I've actually never thought about that, because their mind takes them to this dreamland. They are associated with sleep and dreaming. To them, there is no ego, there is no self. They believe that we are all interconnected and we are all spiritual. So do you see with the whole thing about no form, no boundaries? Because them themselves see you as them and see everyone else as them, so therefore it's hard for them to draw boundaries. But that means also they feel a lot, and they hear a lot, and they see a lot, and they are a lot. A lot of Pisces rising, Pisces moon, in Pisces season, they become a psychic healer. They connect to source. It's easier for them to connect to source than it would be for other star signs or in season. So for example, if it is Pisces season, you're like, oh my gosh, why am I so connected? Why do I feel so connected? Why am I getting these messages? Maybe because you are in Pisces season. In regards to medical astrology, body-wise, they connect to the immune system, because the immune system doesn't have boundaries. The immune system is in our body. It's everywhere, okay? The lymphatic system, pineal gland, the feet, the toes, spinal fluid, cerebral spinal fluid is connected to, Sadie agrees, is connected to Pisces. What they're mostly prone to on a medical astrology level would be any so-called diseases or misalignment in relaxing and soft tissues, because there's a lack of tone. They are more prone to mucus, so it's like that mucus that builds up. Cold and flus because of that immune system, viral, bacterial, fungal infection. So when Pisces season comes, I'm like, whoa, everyone's going to get sick, or the cold and flu is going to kick off more in Pisces season than any other way. Also, weight gain is a big one. Scattered energy, not so much like a Gemini scattered energy. This is a different scattered energy. Gemini scattered energy is solely isolated to the brain, whereas a Pisces scattered energy is, it's everywhere. That scattered energy is everywhere. Not even within them, it's out there. It's everywhere, right? They're beautiful carers. They will pay attention. The immune system is something that they may struggle with because of that lymphatic system also. Autoimmune disorders are more common during Pisces season or for individuals. This doesn't mean that you're going to get it. It's just kind of like what you're prone to. Issues with feet and toes, foot fungus, and those things. So the feet is what Pisces is known for. Some vitamins and minerals that are absolutely key during Pisces season. Anyone that has Pisces in them, please don't take these. Talk to your medical healthcare professional. I am a naturopath, but I'm not your naturopath, and this is just solely for information purposes. So we're talking about vitamin C, A, zinc, iron, B vitamins. These are absolutely key for individuals with Pisces. Some advice that can be given is quite interesting. Some advice that I potentially may give to someone who has a lot of Pisces placements is, because of this loss of boundaries, is for them to sit down and understand what their boundaries are. What are the boundaries that they are comfortable being in, and what boundaries do they have to draw? And this is so hard for a Pisces, or in Pisces season, because, like I said earlier, they don't see themselves as one. They are you, you are them. So therefore, drawing these boundaries is hard and difficult for them. Also, the thing is anxiety and this worry, which may not even be their anxiety, may not be their worry, weakens their constitution. It weakens your constitution. So what does that mean? It weakens your body, your overall health, your vitality. So just don't worry, be happy. I wonder what star sign Bob Marley was. Yes, but when anxiety and worry does come up, be like, okay, it's there. Is it mine? Is it someone else's? And deal with it in the ways that you can. They have a dreamy nature, so my advice would be to look after themselves. Put themselves first, and it's so hard for them to do that. But because of this dreamy nature and being like, if I look after the universe and all the individuals, then I will be okay. And that may be true to an extent, or even to a full extent, but it's key for you to look after yourself, especially take care of your feet. The other thing is it's known that individuals who have Pisces, especially Pisces rising, have a weaker constitution. It is one of the weakest zodiac signs constitution medically. So that means really need to look after yourself. And these individuals will rest more, or will need more rest than others. So if you have a group of friends and you guys go out, or girls, you go out, you have a really good time, the Pisces will not be able to function the next day. You'll have Aries and Leos and other star signs who are just like go-getters in the morning. They'll go for a run in the morning. They will sprint through. They will eat food. The Pisces will be like, I can't digest anything right now. Noise will be too much for them. They just need time out, maybe even a week to recover from one night out. So listen to yourself. During Pisces season, take extra rest. I know that during Pisces season, I nap more. And that's such a Pisces thing to do, is just to remove yourself from reality and have a nap. So if that's what you need to do that, right? They also, I would highly suggest to be near water to recover, because they are a water sign. That's a beautiful connection for them, and it will revitalize them. Things that Pisces season can bring, or a Pisces themselves, is addictions. And these are any types of addictions. It can be food. It can be addiction to games, to an individual, to alcohol, to drugs, to TV. Any types of addictions that will allow you to escape. Okay, because this is what Pisces are really good at, is escaping. Is escaping from reality, this physical reality. So they're like, how can I escape? And this is where addictions come up. And this leads me amazingly to the newest research that got... So this leads me amazingly to the newest research about addictions and what can be done, because When you think about it, individuals who have any types of addictions, they either end up in rehab, they either unfortunately end up being addicted to the substance or whatever it is for life, which doesn't only impact them, it impacts individuals around them, their loved ones, it impacts society. So if there's anything that can be done to allow individuals to be present, let's go for it. So this study was really an interesting one. It's a systematic review of N-Acetylcysteine, NAC. So it's a study, it's a systematic review of NAC, which is N-Acetylcysteine in the treatment of addiction. This study is a really interesting one. It got released in Brazil Journal of Psychiatry in 2014, and it looked into, let me see what we've written here. So it looked into it analyzed 9 studies with a total of 165 patients that met the eligible criteria and were included in the analysis. These studies evaluated the role of NAC in cocaine dependency, which were 3 studies, cannabis dependency, 2 studies, nicotine dependency, another 2 studies, methamphetamine addictions, 1 study, and gambling, 1 study. So 5 of these trials were double-blinded, randomized, and placebo-controlled, which is amazing. So they looked at all types of addictions. They looked at cocaine, they looked at nicotine, they looked at methamphetamines, and gambling, which is some addictions that impact individuals' everyday life and their families, their friends, their work, society. So it's an interesting thing. And you might be like, Mihaela, why are you talking about NAC helping with these? Well, let's look into it. The conclusion was so interesting. The studies analysed suggested a potential role for NAC in treatment of addictions. Shall I repeat that? What this is saying is that they suggested a potential role of NAC, yes, NAC that you can get from your naturopath in powder form, in pills, may be a treatment for addictions. Goodbye rehabs. I mean, look, rehabs may still be there and they have their role in place. But this is literally a supplement, especially for cocaine and cannabis dependency. So the studies analysed suggested a potential role for NAC in the treatment of addictions, especially for cocaine and cannabis dependency. These results are showing us an involvement of the glutamatergic pathways in the pathology of addictions. So let's look into that. So what they're saying is NAC reduces addiction-related behaviors through several interconnected neurological and biochemical pathways, with its most well-researched effects centered around the glutamate modulation, antioxidant actions, and dopamine regulation. The core mechanism was the glutamate regulation. So NAC increases extracellular cysteine, which is exchanged for glutamate via the system XC transporter in the glial cells. This increases non-synaptic, which is basal, glutamate levels in the nucleus, a brain region heavily involved in the reward, motivation, and addictions. Okay, so it works on that pathway. So in addictions, the brain's glutamate homeostasis is disrupted. So the balance of glutamate is disrupted in anyone who has any types of addictions, leading to excessive drug-seeking behavior, not just drug-seeking, any type of addiction behavior. So NAC helps restore this glutamate balance, therefore reducing cravings and potential compulsive behaviors, any types of addictions. This is insane. So it works on the glutamate pathway and the homeostasis of glutamate. The other pathway that NAC works on is the dopamine regulation. So although NAC doesn't directly affect dopamine levels like stimulants do, so when individuals, I think there was a rat study done where they had cocaine and sugar and they looked at how much it increases your dopamine, and then the sugar increased to like absolutely crazy. So this NAC doesn't directly affect that dopamine level like stimulants do. It stabilizes the glutamate dopamine interactions in the reward system. This can help normalize the dopamine surge seen in addiction and reduce the reinforcement for that high. That's the other way it works. The other third way it works is the antioxidant support. So NAC is a precursor for glutathione, which is our master antioxidant in our body. So chronic substance use actually causes oxidative stress and neuroinflammation in our brain because there's no homeostasis, right? Which damages neurons and dysregulates mood and behavior. So by boosting glutathione with NAC, it protects neurons and can improve brain resilience to stresses that drive addictive behavior. So this research is amazing and I love that. And I've actually used NAC on some individuals with addictive behaviors and it is insane, the results. So how does it work? 3 ways. It restores glutamate balance, it boosts glutathione, and it modulates dopamine response, which essentially reduces cravings and relapses, the risk of relapse. It protects the brain from potential drug-induced damage and neuroinflammation, so it doesn't just be drugs. It lessens the drug reward and compulsive seeking behavior. This is amazing. NAC is absolutely amazing. I love it. If you have any types of addictions or you know someone with addictions, please talk to a healthcare professional to understand how NAC may be able to assist you, what the dosage is, what the right time to take it is, and hopefully you get to see some results. And if you need the link to this study, I'm happy to email it to you, contact me, happy to get in touch. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us on Natural Podcast, and remember that you're pure love, capable of living life to its fullest expression. Content and information provided here is opinion of Mihaela and is for information purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice. It is not intended to provide medical advice or take the place of medical advice or any current treatment you're undertaking. Consult your own medical professionals for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to the Natural Health Podcast. It is advised that you consult your doctor or healthcare professional in relation to any health concerns you may be having. Mihaela does not take responsibility for any health consequences which occur from a person listening, viewing, or reading this content. And in circumstances shall the Natural Podcast, Mihaela any guests or contributors to the Natural Podcast, or any employees, associates, or affiliates of Mihaela be responsible for damages arising from the information provided on the Natural Podcast. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice to treat any medical conditions in either yourself or others. Please note, if you're taking prescription, do not stop your medication or start a new protocol, including but not limited to supplements, diet, lifestyle changes without consulting a doctor or healthcare professional. If you or any person has a medical concern, you should consult with your healthcare provider or seek other professional medical advice. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something that you have read or heard on the Natural Podcast or in any linked materials. If you think you may have a medical emergency, call your doctor or emergency services immediately. Neither Mihaela nor the publisher of this content takes responsibility for the possible health consequences of any person or persons reading or listening or following the information in the educational content.